Bank closures and big high street brands deserting Welshpool town centre have created some disturbing headlines over the past couple of years. Amidst the doom and gloom, it has been hard to see any light at the end of the tunnel, but one charismatic local businessman is bringing back hope to the high street.
It's not very often I need one of those, is it?
The owner of T&S Football Club, Mike Harris, is investing hundreds of thousands of pounds into the Pinewood, hoping to spark an upturn in the town's fortunes. It's a project that's been 5 years in the making since he bought the 200-year-old property, having been bogged down by planning red tape and historic buildings permissions due to it being Grade 2 listed.
Come and have a look at this. Don't fall down any of these holes. I'd prefer for you probably not to go past this point here.
But he has finally been given the green light, so it is all systems go, with the project to create up to 6 holiday lets and a refurbished pub to be overseen by his partner, Rhiann Griffiths.
Well, the most difference we're going to do to start off with is the entrance is going to be moved from the front to the side. That's where it was originally, so we're going to be retaining its natural features and bringing that in, and we're going to try and keep its historic features with it, but putting a new front to it and a new look and something a bit more up to date. And it's going to be something sort of like a multi-use area, you know, because we've got to look at the town where we're in, and look at the community that we've got. And so it's going to be a place where people from the age of like 17 to 90 can come and have a drink and feel comfortable and relaxed. So it's, you know, it's going to be, you know, multi-use really.
You see anything in here that was worth preserving for all that time with Caddy or whoever they were? You know, this Shakespearean cupboard. Look.
The planning process has not impressed Mr. Harris, who said planning authorities need to get their act together or investors will be scared off.
If this is the normal experience that a businessman or a businesswoman would get coming to try to develop something in Welshpool, there's a lot of other places they're going to go first. So I would say planning need to sharpen their game up a lot. I think the historical people need to really pull their finger out, because, you know, this place is, you know, as much as the fascia is somewhere which is part of Welshpool High Street and will be always respected, but does it really matter if that dirty old rotten old 50s bench seat is there or not? You know, at the end of the day, the town people ain't going to go into dirty, terrible places, and I think those people really are sitting on power which they don't need to have. I think there should be more of an implied can do rather than cannot, and that was something I experienced very much with hysterical people. Was you can't do this, and there was no, but you could do that. It was no, 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 no. And it was very much as though it was, you had to appease them. And I'll be honest with you, Welshpool needs to, you know, you can see what's happened on the street here now. And we need a different type of way of doing things. Presumptive enablement, and then ensure that the people who do enable follow the rules. And that which could shorten 4.5 years to 3 months. The aim is very much about retaining people in town on a Friday or a Saturday night and not seeing them all jump on the train to go to Shrewsbury and perhaps be catching last orders in town on the way home. We want them in town for the duration of the evening. So that means somewhere for them to take their wives, girlfriends, where people feel that they're comfortable, they've got a choice of some places, and hopefully this will inspire 1 or 2 other people to bring along some perhaps more restaurants and cafes and bars to the town and make it a destination of recreation rather than really empty shops. From sort of my layman's knowledge of construction, we're probably talking of a good 9 months worth of work here. Whether or not, yeah, and again, there's no point in trying to do downstairs before you do upstairs, because it's going to, you know, so the plan I would believe it would be start at the top and work its way down, and hopefully perhaps by late summer 2023 we could find the Pinewood back open.
What's your message to fellow businessmen in the area that might be looking at investing in Welshpool?
Well,
what would you say to them today?
Don't give up on Welshpool, but, you know, it's time to put pressure on the people who we pay our taxes to. You know, our council taxes are a fortune. You know, they need to deliver. You know, and even if it isn't perhaps their job on that day, they need to take a bit of responsibility for pushing things through, getting the things through, and aiding rather than restricting. And I think that's the general advice I could basically say is, come on, let's have a can-do attitude in Welshpool. Let's think what brings people into town, not what might say, well, I'm going to say no until the last moment and waste 4.5 years.
The pub can certainly tell a story or two, and it looks like it will be pulling pints again to tell plenty more in the future.